Hello, this is Julia Laird with Senior Susie Stamps. Wouldn't it be fun to get a Christmas card like this? I think it would be. And today I thought I'd show you how I made this. On the back there's a real pretty sentiment, and it's just a really nice card. A lot of people will keep these and display them on their mantle. So come on and let me show you how I made this. One of the things that makes this card unique is this Snowfall acetate from Hunky Dory. And you'll see I have already cut mine to size. It's very, very easy to cut, but you can see the snowflakes are already there. There is a front side and a back side. But it makes lovely little cards like these. The paper that I'm using is a 49th and Market pack that came out this year. The name of it is
Vintage Artistry, Peace and Joy.
I've chosen to use this piece to make our card today. The paper from 49th and Market is heavy enough to make the card out of. You don't need any cardstock at all. I cut this paper to maximize the design on it, and this is the way I cut it. You can see I took a little bit off this side, and I took a little bit off of this side, and there was just a little strip left. This is one of the branding strips, and we're going to use that today. The focal point came from the pack, Merry and Bright, and I thought it would be pretty with this paper. So let's get started. Move all this out of the way. Now this paper is cut. Here, maybe y'all can see that pretty well. The paper itself is cut 4 1/4 by 7 1/2. I'm going to score that at 5 1/2 and 6 1/2, and then turn it all the way around and score it again at 5 1/2 and 6 1/2. I find it easier to score on this end than to crank way over here and score on that end. So I've got 5 1/2 and 6 1/2. So each one of these little sections is 1 inch, and then I'm going to flip it around the other side and score it at 5 1/2 and 6 1/2. And that's all we need the scoreboard for. This is a super easy card to make, even though it looks complicated. Now we're going to valley fold, and then mountain fold, turn it, valley fold, and mountain fold. Now, with my focal image being down here, I think I'm going to do the paper this way. This piece is, if you're cutting it out of different paper, this piece would be 4 by 3 1/4. But today, because I'm using one of the focal points out of the paper pack, it's one of the quarter panels, it's 4 by 3. The panel for the back that goes back here will be the 4 by 3 1/4 right back here. And it's just going to be in a 65-pound white. All right, let's get that put down. I'm using the ATG gun today. It's my adhesive of choice. There we go. I'll just try to center it up just as well as I can. Now the acetate is cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is a standard A2 size, and that's what this card is going to be. Now, let me show you. On these cards, I have a little strip on the front that covers up the glue and the acetate. What I'm going to do on this card is on this side, I don't want to cover this pretty rose here. So on this side, I'm going to wrap a piece of ribbon around. And on this side, I'm going to use that branding strip to cover up where my tape runner goes on the acetate. So let's get that put on. You can see probably this tape line here, and that's what we're going to cover with the ribbon. So now to put this side down, you bend your mountain and valley together like that, and then carefully line your edges up and lay it down, and there you go. Now you may have to trim just a tiny little bit, and it looks like I do on that one, but it won't be much. There. Now, on this one, I'm just going to put a little piece of ribbon right around that one. And I'm going to put on these cards, see, I've got this little strip on the front. And on this card, I'm going to put those on the back. So these strips that I cut, these two, I'm going to put those on the back. So I can go ahead and put my ribbon here. I don't have to wrap it all the way around. There. And that will cover that little bit of tape runner that will show through the acetate. And then when I go back and put this on the back side, that'll cover up my ribbon. How slick is that?
And those little strips are 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches.
There. Right like that. I'm going to take just a little piece of this ribbon and make a little bow, a little knot in it. I don't even think I want to put a bow on that because I really don't want to detract too much from that rose. There. Now, we'll put this other piece on the back, and I think I'm going to have it coming up the opposite way just for a little bit of interest. There we go. And now I need to cut the panel for the back, and it needs to be 4 by 3 1/4. I'll use my Tim Holtz trimmer for that. I'm going to stamp a sentiment on that before I put it down in VersaFine ink. I always kind of like to do my sentiments before I attach them on these cards because every once in a while I screw things up. I imagine everybody does. There we go. Now, we will put that back on the back of that card.
If you make some of these cards, I'd love to see them. Post them on my Facebook page, Senior Susie Stamps.
You should have a little 1/4 inch on this. Oops. Come on now. There. So the back of the card is finished, and the front of the card, the only thing that's left to do is to find that piece of branding strip. Here we go. And we're going to put it right here. Now in that pack of paper, there is also some little laser cuts. I thought we would go through that and see if we can't find something to embellish this card just a little bit. These are really, really pretty laser cuts. Now this one we could use maybe on the back. The laser cut on this pack of paper, 49th and Market, does an outstanding job on that. Let's see what else there is. Here's another little tiny one here. So let's just pull that and use it on the front. And I'm going to put that up on just a little piece of foam tape. Don't need much, do I? I like to custom cut all of my foam tape. And I got some of that ink on me. Girl, you better be careful. Yeah, I think we're going to put this one just right up here. There. That's pretty. And then on the back, well, I don't know where I'm going to put that one. Maybe right there. I think that would be nice. And I think I'll put that up on a little piece of foam tape also. There we go. Card's done. Simple, easy card to make with a lot of wow factor. And then when you fold it down, it goes right into an A2 size envelope. To stamp my envelopes, I use this 2001 Stampin' Up! Image and Soft Succulent, which is a new color for Stampin' Up! This year. And I really, really like it. In this particular ink, lots of times I'll do the envelope in second generation stamping, but with this color, it's such a nice soft color, you don't really have to do that. You can do first generation ink stamping on it. I stamp on top of a little mouse pad because sometimes I need a little help getting my impression all the way down. And then what I wanted to do was to add a little bit of brown into this trunk, but I didn't want to go for my alcohol markers because sometimes they bleed through. So I'm going to use my smallest little paintbrush here and a little bit of Memento. Whoops, it'd be nice if it was right side up for you. A little bit of Memento Rich Cocoa, and just get it on my paintbrush here. And then just very easily come down that trunk just a little bit, and all it does is just add just a little more interest to that card. While I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the back of that card and wishing that I had put just a little bit of a tree on that. It would have been nice back here, wouldn't it? Just a little shadow there, but I don't think I can get that on there. You know what? I might try it just because I can. You know, one thing about making cards and stamping, if you screw up, it is just a matter of putting it in the trash, isn't it? Got to get over all this fear of trying stuff. Now this one I do think I'm going to do second generation. Let me get a piece of scratch paper over here. I keep all manner of paper. These are some cards that I made several years ago in a group, and that was part of my instructional materials. It's kind of fun to have those little memories as they come back through. Okay, well now wish me luck, because it may be the ruination of this card. I just don't know. Let me see. Okay, breathe, Julia, breathe. Oh, I can go back and fix that, I think. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I can fix that right quick. I'll just make me another one right here. There's always a way to fix something if you screw it up. I have found that for sure over the years. I think in my card making career in the last 5 years, honestly, I honestly think I have only thrown out maybe 5 cards. Lots of times, if you let it rest for a few days, then it'll come on and show you a way to fix it. But I think this is going to be a nice little addition to that back side of that card. I just wasn't quite finished with it. Have you ever gotten that way, where you're just not quite finished with something, but you can't quite figure out what you want to do with it, and then all of a sudden there it is? Well, that's just the way it is with me. And okay, now let's see if we can get done with this, because I think that's going to be really pretty. Yep, I kind of like that, don't you? Well, I'm going to glue that down, and we will just see whether we even want to trim it or not, because you know, it might just be pretty hanging out there. I think I only need glue on part of that, so I'm not going to push it all the way to the outside edge there, because it's going to kind of hang off a little bit. Let me get my tweezers. You know, I've always got to have my tweezers, because otherwise I get silly. All right, let's see what we got here now. Oh yeah, I'm kind of liking that. Still gives you enough room to write your little name down in there. See, I almost messed it up. And if you fold it, when you fold it to put it in the envelope, then if you fold it back this way, then that'll stay. And that back side of that card is really pretty then, I think. Well, see, accidents happen for a reason, don't they? Let me go ahead and put a little brown on that trunk just as well. I learned this little trick someplace, I don't know where, to use my little clear acrylic block for putting a little bit of water on to lay my ink down, and it really helps quite a bit. Let me be quiet here. Maybe I can get this without screwing it up too. I don't want anything heavy down in through here. Just a little hint that that tree trunk is there. There we go. Maybe a little bit right in there. There. Now. Oh, I like it. All right, envelope's done, card's done, video's almost done. Let me show you these other cards. I think this is the first one that I did. Look at that little deer. Is he pretty or what? And then this is part of that laser cut. This is part of the brand strip, and I raised it up just a little bit on some foam tape. Put me a sweet little bow inside there. Same sentiment on the back. Here's another one. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. And look at that little tiny bow. Isn't that cute? Merry and Bright. That came out of those die cuts. And here's the back. I like that paper. This paper pack is just gorgeous. You all need to look into getting some. And here's some of the ivy and another one of those roses. Sweet little bow. Merry Christmas. And on the back, it's this gorgeous scene of fir trees in a winter. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but it's really pretty paper. Well, that's all I got for today, y'all. I hope you come back and see me again real soon. Please subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. Bye-bye.